Welcome everyone to another edition of Making an Impact. I am your host, Simply Sensational Billy James. As you can see, this week's edition is in audio format. Uh, Unfortunately, I've been sick all day and I didn't want to go another week without making an impact, but I just was not able to film in front of the camera. I'm just that ill, as you can tell by my voice. But nevertheless, I wanted to talk about making an impact. This week we had one hell of a show. We had a triple threat match to determine the number one contender who would face Bobby Lashley for the TNA World Heavyweight title. We also had two championship matches. We had Taryn Terrell defend the TNA Knockouts title against Awesome Kong, and the Wolves finally got their rematch against the Revolution for the TNA World Tag Team titles. And a lot, much more. We're going to get all into it here. Like I said, guys, the last 2 weeks there was no making an impact. The 2 weeks ago, I had some camera issues, and last week I was gone to the 2015 Pensacon in Pensacola, Florida. Um, if you've never been to a comic book sci-fi convention, I highly recommend that you go. They're all going all over around the world, and believe it or not, there's a lot of wrestlers that are at these events. The ones that were at the one I was at was uh, the two big ones was Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who I didn't meet. I didn't get time to meet him, but Sergeant Slaughter was another one. But I'll talk about that later on. So let's get started and let's get right into it and let's jump into this week's Impact Wrestling. Okay, Impact Wrestling started off with the Beatdown Clan making their way to the ring, and they're pissed off. King grabs the mic and talks about how they're tired of Drew Gallows getting in their business, and that they want that he's now at hurt of trouble because they want a piece of him. Lukey wants his head. He'll take whatever part he gets because he's interfered into the Beatdown Clan's business. MVP gets on the mic and calls out Drew Galloway, telling him that when we beat Grado and Al Snow, that was for fun. But when you stuck your nose into our TNA World Heavyweight title match, that was business. You cost us the title, and it's on like Donkey Kong, and you're going to get your ass kicked. Get out here now. Drew Gallows comes out through the fans, and he talks about he's home there because he's among pro wrestling fans as opposed to sports entertainment fans. Um, and he talks. He gets wrestling fans to name their names. And he says, "Wants to kick your ass," and so wants to kick your ass, and such. And Kenny King gets pissed off and challenges him to a fight. And Galloway says, "Hey, I'll fight you, King, right now." So we got our first match tonight: Drew Gallows versus Kenny King. So all the other guys went to the back, and immediately Gallows was steps in, but he gets hit with a drop kick by King. MVP is back in the ring before you know it, and he joins in thumping Galloway. MVP slips out, leaving the two opponents to go at it. Gallo gets back on top, putting King down with a snap suplex. King slides out of the outside, so Drew follows him. They continue to fight on the floor. King returns to fire with a kick to the gut and tries to roll him up for a 3 count in the ring, but the battle continues back and forth. There was a nice tilt-a-whirl suplex that Drew Galloway hit on King on the outside of the ring and nailed him right on the ring apron. It was pretty brutal. Um, uh, Galloway is able to get the win when he hits the future shock on King. 1, 2, 3. The rest of the Beatdown Clan runs down to try to beat up on Drew Galloway, but Galloway makes it to the back, and your winner is Drew Galloway. It's interesting. It looks like they're going to book Drew Galloway pretty damn good. Of course, it's England, Scotland, so he's going to have a huge fan support there. Um, I think Drew Galloway's future is bright in TNA. And I hear all TNA does is bring in ex WWE superstars. Well, here's my thought on this. Okay, where are you going to work? Okay, and there's got to be other options. And on the sense that I think that WWE dropped the ball with Drew Galloway, who was known in the WWE as Drew McIntyre. I think they dropped the ball with him. I think they could. I don't know if I could have saw him as world heavyweight champion, but I could have saw him as a. He could have been that top mid card guy, but they just didn't give him a chance. Uh, so let's see what he can do in TNA. But it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with Drew Galloway, and now it appears he'll be feeding with the Beatdown Clan. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. Okay, Bobby Roode came down the ring talking about the number one contender match for tonight. And basically saying that he's going to get rid of Eric Young and become the number one contender. Kurt Angle comes out and tells Bobby Roode that it's time to go. And then Eric Young comes down and gets involved, and they all start brawling. Uh, they fight back and forth until finally Eric Young hauls ass to the back. It's a nice way to hype the main event match of the night. Eric Young, this heel turn's really worked for him. I really think it's brought a new layer to his character. Um, he was really popular as a face there for a while. So, and that's the thing. When you turn someone who's really popular as a face, you're taking a big risk. A big risk. And sometimes it pays off, and sometimes it doesn't. Prime example, and I go back to WWE. Ryback. They turned him heel. He wasn't getting over as a heel. He had an injury. He came back and became a face again, and he's getting over. Believe it or not. Um, Cowboy James Storm. I thought turning him heel when they did was a bad idea, but it's worked out brilliantly. He has become probably one of the top heels of the company. And it's that type of scenario. So for Eric Young, I think he's doing very good with this heel turn, and we'll see how he makes the most of it. Uh, I love to see Kurt Angle and Eric Young go at it, or Kurt Angle, Bobby Roode. They have some great matches, and I've always been under the philosophy age doesn't matter. As long as you get in that ring and put on a great quality match, that's all that matters. So I can't wait till the end of the night when we see Angle versus Roode versus Young. It's going to be one hell of a match for sure. Okay, we had Matt Hardy versus Bram, and before the match, uh, James Storm was talking to Bram, talking about how they're so alike, and that in the Revolution there's always room for one more, and he talks about having to take out um, Matt Hardy. So Hardy starts off with some nice offense at the beginning, but Bram's able to toss him out to outside and start fighting on the floor. Bram gets the advantage by finally when they get back in the ring by chucking Hardy into the turnbuckle, and he follows it up with a lariat press, cover for a near fall. Hardy's able to dodge an elbow, and they start fighting. And then he comes off the top ropes and hits an elbow drop, followed by another one, and then hits a side effect. He tries for a moonsault. He hits a moonsault, tries for a cover, but Bram kicks out, and then he's able to hit that devastating DDT to get the win. After the match, Bram goes for the turnbuckle bracket and just gets ready to attack Hardy when Magnus comes out to break it up. Uh, Magnus slides in the ring. Bram tries to swing, misses, and he gets clotheslined by Magnus. Bram hauls ass out of the ring. Magnus grabs a mic and tells him that I hope that you could hear me after my Mrs. referring to Mickey James bitch slapping you last week. Or it might have been the week before. It was the week before. But um, he says, you left me, you left me lying and beaten in an alley, and that payback's a bitch, and I'm going to give you the ass whooping that your daddy should have gave you, and that you're going to regret taking me down. Great to see this kind of passion from Magnus. I think this is going to be interesting. I thought this was a risky thing for them doing, turning Magnus and Bram on each other, but it looks like it's going to be interesting. So, and when they do have their matches, Mickey James is going to accompany Magnus to the ring. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. But I can't wait to see Bram versus Magnus. It should be a damn good match. And these are basically two original guys. Yeah, Bram used to wrestle for WWE NXT, but you know what? NXT is development territory. Um, you're not a WWE superstar until you hit the WWE platform. If you're not on Raw, you're not on SmackDown, you're not on main event, you're not on Superstars. God forbid I even bring up Superstars since they only do two matches and it's nothing but repeat hash of other shows. If you're not on any of those, then you're not a WWE superstar. NXT star, I can totally agree, but I think for Bram and Magnus, they're both two guys that at TNA have gotten that were raw with talent, and they're able to mold it, and they're getting something good out of it. Okay, EC3, Rockstar Spud was in the back talking to uh, Mr. Anderson, saying that he is going to fit, it's got to end with him in EC3, and he's going to end it tonight. He's going to be a man. He's going to end it. So Rockstar Spud comes out in the ring wearing the most ridiculous British flag suit I've ever seen in my life. And if there's any UK fans that are listening to this, please, would someone grab Rockstar Spud and pull him to the side and tell him the 11th Doctor called and wants his bow tie back? Sorry, Rockstar Spud. Bow ties are not cool anymore. You're not Matt Smith. Okay. Anyway, he calls out EC3, who comes down the ring by himself. Spud said he wants to fight EC3, and that he's going to end his winning streak. EC3 just refers to him as a little boy, and such, and says, "You can't beat me." But EC3, Rockstar Spud cuts him short and said that he will, and he's good for whatever kind of stipulation he wants to do. So they both agreed to a hair versus hair match next week. Should be interested to put this to an end. EC3 has not been defeated since coming to TNA. As you know, EC3 was formerly known as Derek Bateman in the WWE. He had some success on NXT Redemption, but he's really taken this character of EC3, Ethan Carter III, and he's really took it and he's ran with it. Uh, I find this very interesting, and because it's kind of redundant. I've been an outspoken objector, or better like since the term hater, on Rockstar Spud, and they're slowly doing what they should have done with him in the first place. Um, he does need the win because it is in England, it's his home country and such, but should he be the one that ends EC3's undefeated streak? That I do not know. And that's the $1,000,000 question. But nevertheless, it should be an interesting match to see next week. And we'll see who's going to win. Okay, we have our first title match of the night. Taryn Terrell defending the TNA Knockouts title against Awesome Kong. Taryn comes out second after Kong, and she goes right after Kong, even before the bell rings. But Kong just tosses her to the side, and every time Taryn tries for something, uh, Kong is able to block it. She dominates the match, clubbing and stomping Taryn in the corner. And with nailing her in the head with a flurry of forearms. Taryn tries to mount a comeback in the corner and peppers her with punches to the head, but Kong is just able to. She tries to capitalize on the flurries with the flying Brady cross, but she gets and she's able to take Kong down, but Kong kicks out, and she's struggling for there. Several times she goes for a net breaker, but her finishing move net breaker, which I like to call hot slice. But every time Kong's able to block it, and she just bombards Taryn with a lot of punishment. She has her underneath the ropes, and she's stomping her. And Earl Hebner tries to break it up, but Kong pushes him away, and that's it. Earl Hebner's had enough. He calls for the bell. Taryn Terrell wins by disqualification. This just really pisses Kong off, who beats on Taryn on the outside. She gets ready to hit the implant buster on Taryn, but Gail Kim comes out and fights with Kong, and they fight their way to the back and such. So it looks like we're going to get to see a renewal of the feud between Awesome Kong and Gail Kim. I'm all down for that. I give props to Taryn Terrell. The whole point of the match was to show that she was not giving up, that she was a fighter. She was going to fight against instrumental odds, and that she was not going to give up. And that's, I think, the thing to take away from this, and I think she did a great job in that. I do believe we will see Awesome Kong as TNA Knockouts Champion, but when, I do not know. Taryn Terrell has had a good, decent title run so far, and I hope they keep it up. But I hope that they let some of the other knockouts have a shot at the title. I want to see my girl Brooke Tesmacher get a title shot. You also have 6-time former TNA Knockouts Champion Angelina Love, also 5-time Knockouts Champion Madison Rayne, both sitting on the waist side. Rebel, I think she's a little too green. She needs some more time. Havoc, of course, could use another title run. So we'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen down the road. But nevertheless, great outing for both Awesome Kong and Taryn Terrell, and I can't wait to see Gail Kim and Gail Kim and Awesome Kong hook it up inside the ring. Okay, we had our tag team title match. The Wolves challenging James Storm and Abyss for the TNA tag team titles. Before the match starts, the Wolves are, as they're going into the ring, are ambushed by Sonata, Manic, and Hoiki before the bell rings. Um, they get pushed into the side of the ring, and they're in no shape to compete, but the bell rings anyway, and we're off. Storm squares off with Richards, and then he tags in Abyss, who continues the punishment, and they tag in back and forth. Uh, Eddie is out of the action for a spell, thanks to some extracurricular activities by Storm early on in the bout. Davey Richards tries to turn it around, and eventually he tags in Eddie Edwards, who gets fired up. He puts Storm down with a near fall. Storm comes back and puts Edwards down with the same results. Matt Hardy emerges from the back and runs interference on the Revolution guys on the outside of the ring. Um, Storm hits a nice net breaker on Eddie Edwards, and he brings Abyss in, who gets double teamed by the Wolves. They go on to clean house with multiple suicide slides on the outside of the ring. Um, it winds up Edwards and Storm back inside the ring, and Sonata and Manic enter the ring to try to take out Edwards, but their effort fails when Sonata tries for the green spray miss and misses. Abyss goes for the cowbell, and Matt Hardy slips in and knocks him out while the ref isn't looking. This allows the Wolves to hit their finishing move on Abyss. 1, 2, 3. Edwards covers for the win, and we have new TNA World Tag Team Champions. The Wolves are now 3-time TNA World Tag Team Champions. Okay, interested to see the Wolves are back in the driver's seats as the Tag Team Champions. We'll have to wait and see how long that's going to last because Eddie Edwards has suffered a serious injury, so we don't know what is going to be the status of the tag team titles at this point. We should find out here in the middle of the month when they start doing their Impact TV tapings. So it's a good match. I'm saying it's pretty damn close to being the match of the night. It's hard to beat out the main event match, but it was pretty damn close. So if you missed this match, I highly recommend you watch it. I just think it was good action all the way across and told a great story, and that's what wrestling's all about. So check it out if you can, because I highly recommend it that you do. Okay, we have our main event match: Kurt Angle versus Bobby Roode versus Eric Young, with the winner getting the title shot against Bobby Lashley for the TNA World Heavyweight title. Young and Roode goes at it before the match starts, but all three of them gets inside the ring with Angle and Roode briefly double teaming Young. But they go at each other pretty quickly as Roode falls to a German suplex by Angle. Roode strikes back. He puts Angle down for a cover, which is broken up by Young. Young stays on Roode for a while, keeping Angle out of it by knocking him to the outside of Roode, outside of the ring. Roode and Young go at it for a good amount of time. Ended up on top of the rope. Angle sneaks in and they hit the Tower of Doom. He zeroes in on Young, hitting 10 consecutive German suplexes. Roode gets himself into the fray, working Angle into a protracted crossface. Young breaks that up, but he pays for his actions with the spine buster. Young gets on top of Angle gets on top of things, putting Young into the ankle lock. Young's able to get to the ropes. Roode falls to the ankle lock next, but he doesn't tap. Referee was momentarily knocked out. There was a nice transition where they were transitioning between ankle lock, the crossface, the ankle lock, the crossface. Finally, the referee's accidentally knocked out, and Young nails Bobby Roode with a chair. Angle then hits the ankle slam, not seeing the chair shot. And 1, 2, 3, Kurt Angle gets the title shot against Bobby Lashley for the TNA World Heavyweight title. Good match. I love the flow of the match. I liked how he hit those 10 consecutive German suplexes. It shows what kind of shape the Angle's in. Eric Young did a great job. So did Bobby Roode. I thought the transition in between submission moves between Angle's ankle lock and Roode's crossface was awesome. It's going to be interesting to see how this match between Kurt Angle and Bobby Lashley goes, but nevertheless, I think it's going to be one hell of a match. Can't wait to see it, and it's going to be fun to watch for sure. Um, where does Bobby Roode and Eric Young go for here? I don't know, but I see another match between those two here in the near future. Nothing but a great match, and I have to say it is match of the night, so you guys gotta watch it if you missed it. Okay, superstars of the week has to be Kurt Angle, Bobby Roode, and Eric Young. They all three did one hell of a job in that match. Um, it was a good show overall. I give it a 7 out of 10. Um, Matches were good. It was overall a good show. And I think this is the thing that TNA's been doing. They've kind of picked themselves up, dust all the dust off, and they're kind of getting their groove back on. It's going to take some time, but I think they're heading in the right direction. Uh, as long as they don't drop the ball on guys like Drew Galloway, and I gotta hope they don't drop the ball on Austin Aries or Bobby Roode for that matter. All their stars, they've got so much great talent there in TNA. It's scary how much great talent they've got, and it's going to be a matter of time before we see uh, one of these guys, become the face of the company. It's just a matter of time, and when that's going to happen, I don't know. Um, I just think from top to toe, that we had a great tag team match. The knockouts match told a great story. I think it was just great from top to bottom. So I can't wait to see next week's, and hopefully next week I'll be back in the regular form, and we'll be doing this video style. Thank you guys for your support. Um, like I said, not feeling good. Just to kind of explain right now, my head's throbbing. Um, I probably have a sinus infection, and I'm miserable. But I love wrestling. I love TNA, and I just wanted to do something this week. I didn't want to go another week without making an impact. So, guys, thank you for your support, and thank you for your understanding. Uh, I'll take a little time to talk about my trip to Pensacon 2015. This was a comic book sci-fi convention in Pensacola, Florida. It was awesome. I got to meet all kinds of people, but people that you would probably know is Sergeant Slaughter. I got to meet him. Others is Nichelle Nichols. She played Lieutenant Uhura in the original Star Trek series. Maria Sturris, who played Chancellor Deanna Troy in Star Trek Next Generation. Garrett Wong, who played Ensign Harry Kim in Star Trek Voyager. Colin Baker, who played the sixth Doctor in the British TV series Doctor Who. Um, Nick Terabay, famous for playing Asher in Spartacus, and also recently playing Captain Boomerang in Arrow and Flash. Katrina Law, who played Mira in Spartacus, and Nasir Agul, Ra's al Ghul's daughter in Arrow. Um, so got to meet a lot of great people. I had a great time. Saw a lot of cosplayers there. It was fun. So if you get the opportunity to go to one of these things, especially if you live near a bigger city, God, go. You'll have some fun. All right, guys. Once again, thank you for your time. I appreciate your support. Don't forget, every Tuesday night, it's the Wrestling Debate, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, on Blog Talk Radio via the Nerdport Network. You got to call in and listen. We always have some great stuff to say. Me, John, Sean Shark Williams, Andrew B., Jaime, Stat Boy, Michelle. A bunch of us are on there, so call in. We're always talking about WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, PWS, sometimes even Lucha Underground. You never know what we'll be talking about. Also, Wednesday nights, check the website and Nerdport Network's Facebook page for the exact times. But it's an independent point of view. My good buddy and partner in crime, John P. Mayer, has his finger on the pulse of independent wrestling, especially pro syndicate wrestling. So you got to check that out. And he's had some amazing interviews, so you got to check that out. Well, as you can tell, my voice is getting ready to go out. Um, you know who I am. I'm Simply Sensational Billy James, and thank you for joining me for this week's Make an Impact. And hopefully next week we'll be back to full normalcy.